Welcome back to the show, everyone. Our next guest conquered the music charts, television, Broadway, Vegas. You pretty much name it.
And now he's going to conquer you, Eckford. He's going to take your job. David Cassidy has a show in town tonight, and he's here to tell us all about it. What he's been up to. How are you?
Great. It's great to be here. I mean, I feel like, wow.
Well, we were talking.
This is beautiful. What does everybody complain about the weather?
But you got us on the one sunny day.
That's it. But why do I arrive when the Canucks are in the playoffs for the first time in, I don't know. Wow. I'm a hockey fan, though. Unlike
first time in 17 years we've been this far, so we didn't know we'd be interfering with the scheduling of your program.
All I can say is I'm thrilled that the Canucks are in it, and I'm a bit of a hockey fan myself. When I lived in LA, I had season tickets to the Kings, and I gave them up when Gretzky arrived. I thought, that's it.
You're kidding.
No, I know him.
I was like, this interview is over.
I'm giving it up. I like the Marcel Dion.
What's that guy gonna do?
Butch Goring, and you know.
Well, you grew up in New York, and,
I did.
And then of course LA. So did you follow the Rangers when you were young?
I was always a Ranger fan, and because I lived in LA, I wanted to see a lot of the teams that you don't get to see.
Yeah.
So the couple times a year the Rangers would come. I got to know some of the guys in the late 70s that were playing, you know, guys from here actually, and from Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Gene Carr, Marcel Dion, got to know him, and Rogie Vachon.
Crazy.
And they were great, and Dave Taylor and all those
Good
guys.
Canadian kids down in LA.
Well, they
right?
were, and they brought hockey to the town that you would not. Because LA has so many transplants.
It's not a hockey town.
It's not a hockey town, and nor is Nashville.
Yeah.
You know,
or
I don't
Atlanta,
know what that's
obviously.
about. No, I mean, I'm sure that there is a certain amount of sentimentality when it comes to basketball. When Vancouver lost their Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Now
the
they're
Grizzlies,
the
where are they now?
Yeah.
You know, does that make sense?
And they had their first playoff success as well. We got to talk about all kinds of things. Man.
Yeah, I'm at the River Rock tonight.
Yeah, how much
One
are you
night.
enjoying, because you've sort of, I don't know if sporadically toured throughout your career is the right term. So what makes you want to go out, and do you just feel it in your bones that it's time to sort of go out and do it too?
Well, I hadn't played in over a decade any of my own hits.
Yeah.
Because I had done Broadway, then the West End with Blood Brothers and my brother Sean.
Yeah.
And then I was in Toronto, and the MGM people came and flew me to Vegas the day after I closed in Toronto. Was the last time I did it. I was in '96, and they went, "Here are the keys, go make it work." And it was dying, and make a show. We got $100 million invested, and it's losing money, bleeding from every side. So my brother Sean and myself and a couple of other friends of mine got together and sat down and ripped the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
But we had to use all the hardware that was there.
Right.
Really?
Like there were these dragons.
So the staging and all the
So we wrote a whole different story. I became a completely different character. I was actually playing a waiter who gets swept off, and it turned into be the biggest success.
How many shows did you do of that one?
Oh, in Vegas.
Honestly?
Yeah.
I did altogether in 6 years, excuse me, I did over 2,000 shows. I did over 1,500 of
So,
those.
David, you are going back to Vegas.
I'm going back to Vegas.
You're working on a show.
Another show I'm going to produce and probably star in it for a year or so.
But this one's different. Tell us about it.
Very different. Well, it has a lot of the people that are conscious of what the market wants. It's 18 to 25.
Yeah.
Right? That's the market that all of the advertisers and everybody wants. And the movies that have been so incredibly successful that aren't terribly good movies are horror films, scare films, Saw 7.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Millions and millions of dollars.
And they just keep making them and making them. So I'm taking that and sort of turning it on its ear, doing satire and really genuinely scary stuff, and using the environment, kind of like I produced and wrote a show called The Rat Pack is Back.
Yeah.
I took it was December 12th, 1961, and we turned the whole room, everything, the waitresses, the cocktail waitresses, everybody. There was a cigarette girl.
Yeah.
We took everybody and got the original costumes, original tuxedos. So it's taking an environment that has nothing to do with your show and making it like you're walking into a horror.
So are you going to be you in the new Vegas show? What are you gonna be?
No, Cosgrove.
That sounds daunting.
Daunting.
So this tour is really an opportunity for you to sort of almost sneak in a little tour in between these two huge Vegas.
I don't tour anymore. I do 3 and 4 shows, and like I'll do 4 to 6 a month. I'll go out and play Friday night and Saturday night. Tomorrow I'm going back because Sunday night I'm on the Celebrity Apprentice finale, which is
back to visit Donald. He's had a few changes since last time you saw him. Huh?
Oops.
Well, it's absurd when people were saying, "So do you think he's going to run for president?" I went, "Have you lost your mind?" I mean, talk about closet, talk about skeletons.
Yeah, there's just no way. Speaking of scary, create the Donald
Nothing would be scarier than the Donald as president.
Oh, no. But I think he's such a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. You know, it's all about me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people assume because he licenses his name, his brand, Trump, that someone can come and build a building and say, can we license your name, which is associated with this luxurious high-end, and he had nothing to do with it.
Right.
But they're buying into the name, which doubles the price. So it's very clever.
What was your experience like? I mean, obviously, your run on Celebrity Apprentice didn't last very long.
Mine was good because I wasn't around it. You know, as a creative guy...
David, those people are all crazy.
Oh,
like, they're all crazy, man.
You have no idea.
No, we don't. Tell us what it was like when the cameras weren't on, please.
Well, first of all, Gary Busey is a lovely guy. He's a real... I got along with everybody except...
Richard Hatch?
Yeah. But he's back in federal prison. The week after I left, apparently, he got booted. And
there's a lesson in that, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, you go to prison once for lying and cheating and stealing. And now you're doing it again. But what you didn't see in the boardroom when they were going down they asked everybody on Backbone, my team, who should get fired, and they all said Richard. And Jose had steam coming out of he wanted to kill him because he was lying.
You could see it.
And Jose was the only one that watched it and saw it, and he was just doing the right thing, which is, like him or hate him, Jose changed the game.
David, I would have punched Richard Hatch.
Well, I don't do that. I take the high road. And
Jose Canseco often doesn't, though, so I'm impressed that he held off.
He held off, and what you didn't see is, you know, I produced a lot of television and done shows in Vegas, and I've done a lot of that. You work cooperatively. You hire the best people to do the best job. That show is about competing and getting rid of saving your own skin and taking other people down.
So the best doesn't rise to the top. The best gets chopped off. Right?
Sometimes. Sometimes it depends upon, obviously, the individuals that are in the game. But I said to Donald, he said, Richard, he said, I should fire you. Everybody said I could fire you. You lost. But I have to say it. I can't wait to watch Jose Canseco strangle you next time.
David, you're fired.
He said, so, David, you're fired.
There you go.
And I went,
see you
later.
Okay, back to your show at the River Rock. What are you going to be performing tonight?
Well, it's probably going to be, and I never say never. I've never done a farewell tour, but I'm going to do a lot of my hits and take people really on a musical journey throughout my life. The influences. A lot of people know I got to become friends with all the Beatles, but particularly with John and with Paul. And John and I and Yoko, and even when he was with May Pangford, went to the studio with him. But he and I got to play together, and I lived kind of my dream musically, singing Paul's parts. We were drunk on New Year's Eve the first time we played together, and I retaught him a lot of his early stuff because I was still 13. You know,
what was that like? I mean, so many people on the planet would dream to be in that position.
Well, I was, because I was like fans are with me. You know, a lot of people say to me, "You were my first concert. I bought my first album." It's a wonderful thing to have that.
And you're sitting there with that guy who was that.
And
for
that's
you.
what I'm doing with that guy for me. So.
And it's John Lennon.
And it's John. and we were drunk the first time. But I went to the studio when he was making the rock and roll album, which I think was called You Should Have Been There. But what an amazing human being. I miss his voice. He had such commitment to what he believed in and what he felt. All you need is love. If you listen to the lyrics, he reveals so much about himself in his material from the second album on. The Beatles, every song John wrote, he sang. Every song Paul wrote, he sang. They stopped working together from Sgt. Pepper on. They weren't writing
they were
together.
soloists, basically.
But if you, well, they were writing their own stuff. And then, like, John would write a bit on Paul's stuff, and then, like, A Day in the Life, classic example, is if you listen to Day in the Life, and then in the middle you hear this, thum, 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 woke up, got out of bed. That bit is all Paul, and Paul's singing his parts. And I got to talk to him a lot because I was a genuine fan. And getting to know him and getting to play with John. And I played once with Paul, too, back in the Wings Over America tour, late 70s. And
are you going to be telling any of these stories tonight?
I want to be able to do that because I don't know if I'll be coming back to do concerts. You know, through Blood Brothers and then through EFX and then doing At the Copa and writing and producing the Rat Pack is Back. I didn't sing any of my hits.
You're a busy man.
So I'm getting a chance to go back and...
People want to hear the hits, too.
I want to play them. I love playing because I didn't play them for over a decade.
So it's fun to go back.
Oh, man, it's more fun now than it's ever been.
Well, David, thank you so much.
It's wonderful. No, thank you.
And
David,
have fun
at the River Rock tonight, 8 o'clock.
Absolutely. David Cassidy will be at the River Rock tonight. And you can also watch him on the finale of The Celebrity Apprentice. That's happening this Sunday night at 9 o'clock on NBC, unless Barack Obama decides that he's going to have breaking news at the same time.
Just a little more payback.
Although I think it'd be a little more payback for Donald, don't you? I think so. Take it and say, oh, really? You're Celebrity Apprentice?
Get out.
I'm going live.